Tax equity supplements, a failed response to the Commonwealth Court's ruling on school funding. Why, you may ask. Pennsylvania's public school funding system was found to be unconstitutionally inequitable. The prime driver of the inequity was found to be property taxes. Pennsylvania relies far too heavily on them to fund education, which has created nation-leading disparities between schools. Tax equity supplements to the rescue? Not so fast. Sit down, folks. What you're about to hear will shock you. A property tax elimination working group educational video. Please visit noprop.tax for more information. Imagine a state where your kid's education depends on the vast inequities of the local housing market. Well, Pennsylvania is that state. Lucky you live here, right? Sounds bonkers. Well, that's exactly what the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court found. The state's over-reliance on property taxes for school funding is about as constitutional as serfdom. It's a system that unfairly burdens low tax effort districts and leaves kids without the resources they deserve and taxpayers falling further into a financial abyss. It is a system that can't be fixed. Full elimination is the only clean solutions. The court's message was clear. Pennsylvania, you've got to fix this mess. Now, you'd think that a state facing down the barrel of an unconstitutional funding system would be scrambling for solutions, right? Well, enter the Pennsylvania Basic Education Funding Commission, a group tasked with righting this ship. In response, the Pennsylvania Basic Education Funding Commission, BEFC, held multiple meetings. By an 8-7 vote along party lines, surprise, the majority report was adopted. The report was championed primarily by BEFC co-chair Representative Mike Sturla, who has since announced his retirement at the end of his current term. The majority report influenced significant portions of the Pennsylvania 2024-25 budget. In an attempt to address the court's concerns about the excessive dependence on local property taxes, the report proposed the use of tax equity supplements to provide tax relief. Pennsylvania has 500 school districts, but the majority report initially identified only 169 districts as eligible for tax equity supplements. According to the report, these 169 school districts were to receive $937 million over 7 years, or approximately $133 million per year. But here's the kicker, it's not even close. The majority report, bless its heart, started with good intentions. The idea was to funnel state cash to districts struggling the most, the ones hit hardest by this over-reliance on property taxes. These tax equity supplements were supposed to provide significant tax relief, a way to level the tax burden. Finally, a chance to give these kids secure homes. Well, hold your horses, because that's where the fairy tale ends. Turns out, during budget negotiations, these supplements were cut even further. As with most things in life, the devil's in the details, and these details were about to get real ugly. Remember the 169 those districts where taxpayers thought they might actually realize a tax break? Well, it turns out that the pool of eligible districts started shrinking faster than a polar bear in a heat wave, and the money, let's just say it went on a diet, a crash diet. See, when budget negotiations rolled around, those tax equity supplements suddenly looked rather anemic. During negotiations, the number of eligible school districts was reduced to just 50, down from 169, with only $32 million, down from $133 million allocated for tax equity supplements. So, the very program designed to put a measurable dent in the taxpayer burden got whittled down to maybe a scratch. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a squirt gun. Once again, the plight of the taxpayer was ignored. The deafness of the General Assembly is appalling. Section 4. The mechanics of meager relief. Okay, so how are these tax equity supplements supposed to work, you ask? Well, buckle up, because it's a real humdinger. The state looks at a district's property tax burden and compares it to its ability to raise revenue. If the burden's high and the revenue's low, bingo! The taxpayers may realize some help, but once again, the devil is in the details. State law directs local school boards to use the funds to mitigate or prevent property tax increases, supplement existing tax reduction programs, or reduce debt. Which option do you think school districts will use? Let's just say you're more likely to spot Bigfoot riding a unicorn through downtown Harrisburg than to see a school district implement mitigation or prevention of property tax increases or supplement existing tax reduction programs. Section 5. Harrisburg, a case study in broken promises. Let's take a trip, shall we? Destination Harrisburg School District. This district, my friends, is a poster child for the failures of Pennsylvania's funding system. They've been grappling funding issues along with this property tax nightmare for years. So, when these tax equity supplements were proposed, you can bet the taxpayers were hoping for a miracle. The Harrisburg School District is set to receive $721,298.96. Census data shows that Harrisburg School District has 21,474 households. This would mean that each household would receive roughly $34 in tax relief. This figure would be further diluted when businesses that pay school taxes are included. You know what you can buy with $34 these days? A decent meal, maybe a couple of movie tickets. It's a drop in the bucket compared to the crushing weight of property taxes these homeowners are facing. It's insulting, frankly. Section 6. Beyond Band-Aids, a call for real reform for true property tax elimination. Pennsylvania, it's time to wake up and smell the burning tax bills. These tax equity supplements, they're not the solution. They're a massive joke on the taxpayers, if not the court itself. They're a band-aid on a gaping wound, a sleight-of-hand trick for a systemic problem that demands real, meaningful reform. We're talking about the blatant ignoring of the court opinion. Don't let them down with half measures and empty promises. Demand full elimination of property taxes. Fight for a funding system that puts students first, not property values. It's time to stop tinkering around the edges and finally fix this broken system once and for all.